And then this point here, this is another vine. So this is actually essentially two plants. So the way that they grow is that they grow like this, and then a new shoot will come up in the middle, and then the old leaves will just keep getting spread further and further apart as the new leaves emerge from the center right here. Hey guys, it's Sean and welcome to the Calathea silver plate episode. We featured Calatheas before in this channel, but I thought it'll be nice to share with you this gorgeous beauty and how to care for it. And at the end of the episode, we're gonna propagate and show you updates at the end. Now, first of all, Calatheas are endemic to Brazil, and this one here is an unknown hybrid. We don't know where it came from. Maybe it's a natural hybrid or it's made by someone. There are a lot of hybrids of Calathea. They do hybridize quite easily. But this one is known for its really nice silver leaves. It's actually light green if you look at it, but when you give it bright light, it looks super nice and silver. It's got really beautiful maroon underside. Now, in all the Calatheas in my collection, this one is actually the fastest growing and the easiest one. So if you're new to Calatheas or if you've killed enough of them, give this one a try because this one might actually do well for you. And Calatheas are not the easiest to care for, but this one here has really stood the test of time. This one in my hand, it's seen better days. It was like such a beautiful clump, but as with other plants, as they overgrow their space, they suffocate each other, they just started to kind of die back. So this one's actually on a downward spiral now, so I better take care of it before I let it go completely dead. There's a lot of vines in here and it's smothered itself, and if you look at it, this is completely root bound. This is insane. So one of the ways to save this overgrown plant is obviously to divide it and propagate it and turn it into many cute little baby ones. And before we get started, I'm going to share with you some quick care tips for this Calathea, bright indirect light all the way down to low light. Let me explain. Most Calatheas are actually low light or medium light plants, but this one here actually is often used in landscaping. They can take more light. I have a feeling that's because they have this like reflective color on their leaves, even though the red backs would suggest that they are low light plants. But when the light hits it, I have a feeling a lot of the lights get bounced off it anyways, unlike a lot of the Calatheas that we know that has like a dark green or burgundy type leaves on the front with this beautiful peacock patterning. This one is definitely something that can withstand a little bit more light. And with most plants, when you give it more light, you want to water it more. When you give it less light, you want to back off with watering. Now, the next key of growing these plants is the potting media. In my climate, we are actually very humid here. They can rot quite easily. Of course, if you live in like the Western countries or experience the four season, you might not let them dry out completely. You might want to offer a different potting media. But for me, I have to give them something very, very fast draining, something very loose, but I also have to water them frequently. So the media is kept a little bit moist, but it don't stay moist through the next day. So we do water this every day. We just kind of go over it with the hose and it's just doing fine. And in my climate, Calatheas do well when you ground them as well. When you ground them in the soil, they just take off. And another thing about Calatheas is that they love airflow. It's a matter of life and death for them. If you keep them somewhere with no air movement, this will die back very fast. It will stress out, it will invite pests, it will wither, it will do all the weird things that Calatheas do before they die. So give them good air movement. In my case here in the back wall here, by the way, my wall's not looking so good because I'm doing some renovation, so hopefully we'll see better wall in 3 months time or so. But here we have a fan on 24 hours a day, and if you grow them indoors, you definitely want to have like a not super drafty area, but you want maybe to keep a fan on at all times, and these guys will actually do much better. They make quite good houseplants and they can withstand a reasonable amount of humidity. So they don't need to be in this super high humidifier type humidity. Now, a lot of them also have crisping leaves. That's one of the most common troubleshooting with them. A lot of them are actually bacterial or fungal in nature, especially if you see them grown on like a part of the leaf that's not the tip. Usually if it's on the tip of the leaf, it is a watering issue. It's either over or under watering it. If you're over watering it, the edge of the leaves would probably have crisping, but it'll have a yellow line between the fresh leaves and the crisping leaves. I don't know if I have the perfect example now, but yeah, I really don't. And then you also sometimes feel like the end tip will be kind of mushy when you kind of break it off. That's the plant trying to shed excess water off the tip of the leaves. However, if you just see crisping with like just super dry tips of the leaf, that's you underwatering the plant. And of course, the best way is just to check the soil often when you just get the plant, just to check how much moisture is retaining in there. And again, in my climate, they need to dry out completely, but In yours, if you have slightly lower humidity, you might not want to let it go completely dry. So there is a perfect balance and you just kind of have to find it on your own. I don't have a formula for you guys, but keep in mind that these guys, they just love airflow. They can rot if they're just left in still air. They can rot if you let them sit in water for too long. But again, this Calathea silver plate here is one of the easier varieties, and I definitely recommend for you to take on one if you're not so confident about Calathea. They are quite prone to pests. This one here has some mealybugs now. A lot of the Calatheas are prone to spider mites here. So you treat them with neem oil or pesticide. But for me, in this greenhouse, what I do is I close all the doors and the windows, and then I hose down the floors and then just let the evaporation come up. So at certain nights, I don't do this in daytime, by the way, because I don't want to cook my plants. At night, some of the humidity can go up to like 99% in here. And that really takes the toll off spider mites because they cannot survive past like, I don't know, 70 or 75% humidity. So I do that actually once in a while just to make sure that there's no spider mites in here. And it's been working really well. I've got a ton of alocasias and things like that here. And we've not had any knock on wood, not had any spider mites infestation here in this greenhouse. And for those of you living in apartments and things like that, this pest population can go out of control. This one's been living kind of beside my car. It's been very neglected actually in low light, in good airflow. This one has got a little bit of pests, but that's also because we haven't been treating it for pests for the last, I think, 1 year or so since it's been living there. So you do want to be on top of your pest control with these plants. Now they are rhizomaceous plants. They look kind of like ginger. They're in the ginger family. So if you look below, they will have all these like ginger-like clumps in there, which we will see shortly. And that is how you divide them. Oh, and fertilizing, these guys do need some feed once in a while. If you can, give them like a more organic type feed, like fish emulsion, worm casting, it's a lot more gentle on them. If you give them slow release for chemical fertilizers, which I do, it may kind of burn the leaves a little bit. You may not have really nice, sexy leaves. Just keep in mind if you use chemical fertilizers to just dilute it. But with any other houseplants, you do need to give it some nutrients just to help them along with their growth. Now, before I propagate this plant, one tip about propagating your plant is that you should probably fertilize this about a week also before you propagate it. I didn't. Just because they can absorb all that extra nutrients into their leaves, their shoots, and their roots. So when you divide them, they have that stored up nutrients to help them along when you propagate them. And I'm just checking this really quickly, just to see the roots seem healthy. Sometimes when you study the health of the plant, you can see from here, if it's like underwater, it means that you have some dried roots here, or if it's overwatered, you'll see some rotting, and you could just pull off strands of like these roots. But then this is actually very healthy. This is doing well, albeit it being a little bit overcrowded here. And when the best way to pull plants apart is just kind of do this like twisty thing, kind of loosen them up. And also another way that you can loosen them up is kind of soak them in water. There's a few plants you can see, they kind of divide themselves. It's very easy to find the places where you should divide them. And here I can see that we can actually turn this into many plants. And of course, I don't need many of these because I don't have space, but we'll try to get as much as possible because for these videos, I do like to challenge myself a little bit. So I'm gonna try to get as much as we can. So I have some pretty lucky neighbors who will probably get some of these babies from me. Give them a massage. Massage, $10 massage, $10 massage. This might take a while. It is very anxiety inducing when I'm filming and trying to do these things. Normally when I'm off camera, I'm a lot more calm because it's like, I feel like you guys are watching me. And also feels like I gotta speed it up before like the battery dies or if I lose audio or something. So that's why I'm always a little bit jittery. I guess for this, I don't know if you can see this, but things aren't coming off as easily as I thought it would. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna soak this wet and then I'm gonna do this off screen. I'm gonna loosen it up and then I'm gonna turn my camera back on. So I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, so it's only like a minute after. I just basically wet this plant and I struggled with it a little bit. And it's just so entangled in here. And you can see there are many plants in here that I'm trying to separate. So I might actually just like break it off. I know, I mean, if you have the patience of a doormat, you would untangle this slowly, but I don't. I've got too much going on. Another way that you can do it is just to take a knife and just cut it like a pizza. Go for it. I mean, it will take a while, like maybe another extra week or so for the roots to recover. but most of the times these will do just fine. Okay, this is my first break. All right, decent amount of roots here, and then this is what the roots look like, and this actually grow out of like another rhizome. So we can go ahead and pot this up somewhere. Let me break more up. Twist and pull, twist and pull, twist and pull. Gosh. Okay, that took only a minute. We can totally plant this as one, but for the sake of this video and for your entertainment value, I'm gonna turn this into 2 plants. There. Beautiful, look at that. And this one is a new vine that's coming off. So you can see that this is 1 plant, and then this point here, this is another vine. So this is actually essentially 2 plants. So the way that they grow is that they grow like this, and then a new shoot will come up in the middle, and then the older leaves will just keep getting spread further and further apart as the new leaves emerge from the center right here. This one has a lot of roots, so I'm very happy. I know. If you think I'm rough with my plants, I can be, but I have so many and they're always growing. So I don't mind as long as I can save some time. And I know that the plant can survive. It really isn't plant abuse. I hope you guys don't think that I'm abusing my plants. I'm definitely gonna need to shower after this. I've got like potting media all over me. I was just gonna go to the gym after this, but I definitely need to shower first. Now it's okay, some of the other roots tagged along, like the old roots. In fact, sometimes like in the right conditions, the old roots can decompose and give you nutrients. Of course, in some cases, if the plant is not healthy, the old roots that's decayed may rot. So in some cases, you know, where the point where I break them off, I see some fresh tissue here. Normally I would like give them some, what do you call this? Activated charcoal. Just to like sterilize the wound a bit. It's antifungal, it's antibacterial. So, you know, I like to get in the habit of just rubbing any fresh wound with the activated charcoal. It's been a while since I did these kinds of videos. I know some of you guys commented that you missed it. Unfortunately, like my traveling is just out of control. And also, I've done so many of these videos. I've done like nearly like most species. I've done most genuses. So watch my old videos if you like this kind of format. I have a lot of plant videos in my catalog. Just scroll down, or you can just type in the name of the species. You might find it in my catalog. And this is what I mean when I say they have this ginger-like the rhizome. I don't know if you can see it well because it's not very clean. So it does kind of look like a ginger, and there's all these possible nodes for new shoots to come out of. So I can plant this thing. In fact, I will just plant this. Where possible, try to plant it facing up. So I put it in a small pot here. And for this one here particularly, you don't need to get it wet at all. Like slightly, I would like spray it lightly every day just to get it some moisture going, but you don't want to drown this. This does not need a lot of water at this time. Oh, by the way, I did update my potting media. I stopped using my old potting media and I've opted to just use burnt rice hull, and perlite, these 3 components. Because I'm an avid overwater and I noticed that I have to just hose down my plants every day. There's too many of them. So I just give them something extremely porous like that. One last one. I mean, this whole filming process, this propagation literally took like 10 minutes or so, maybe 15. So go ahead and do something about your plants if they're overgrown. It's very satisfying. And of course, the journey of every plant is that they're gonna eventually just get oversized, overwhelmed, and it's just gonna die back. And then you just gotta keep on top of it and just multiply it, propagate it, prune it back. You can keep upsizing the pot. But again, my goal is not to have like these giant like pots of plants around my house because I live in a tiny house. So I'm gonna always propagate my plants, multiply them, especially when they have become too overgrown. And then I love sharing, so I'll just share this with my neighbors, my family, my friends, and things like that. So I will see you for an update, but let me do a quick head count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. And again, one more thing. I'm gonna grow them all here on the floor, medium indirect light, I would say, and good airflow. And I'm gonna water these every day, but lightly, not too heavily. Welcome to a 3 months update. This is everyone. Look at that, everything is burst into life. So I see here there are 7 pots. Now I don't remember in my previous video how many pots I ended up with. So yeah, but here is everyone. I just want to show you all these pots full of new foliage. It's just quite a wonderful treat. I'm gonna take one out of the pot just to see. Ta-da! Look at that, look at all these roots in here. And then I might take another one. So this new leaf has just unfurled. Beautiful. I love how they unfurl like a cigar. This is also full, my gosh. They're actually quite fast to propagate and to root. And this is another one that is beautiful, massive leaves. Now I don't know what I'm gonna do with all these plants that I got. I have a small house, just so you know. I do enjoy seeing these glossy leaves come out. It's beautiful. And their new leaves, they start off like a cigar here. They unroll and unfurl really beautifully. So this is one that is really, really easy to care for, easy to propagate. They make really good landscaping. And again, they're actually low light plants, so they will do quite well in a lot of spaces where a lot of other plants otherwise can't live. And they also provide a pop of color. It makes a low light area a lot more brighter and more cheerful. All right, thank you so much for watching this all the way to the very end. I appreciate you giving this video a like, commenting down below, and staying subscribed. And of course, if you want to contribute to the channel financially for a small cup of coffee a month, feel free to join my Patreon at patreon.com/Sean from OnlyPlants, or you can also join as a YouTube member. Simply open this video or any episode of mine from a desktop, not from your mobile phone. And under the video, next to my name, there will be a join button that will allow you to join as a member of the channel, and then you would sometimes enjoy some of these episodes before everyone else does. But if not, don't sweat it. Just by you watching this all the way to the very end really helps me out a lot. So I will see you in the next one.